Okay, here we are going to do a little bonus material. We are going to be talking about making toes, but before we do that, I'm going to quickly talk about magnetizing a hand, because I will have brought it up in the workshop, but I didn't have magnetized this hand. I actually don't tend to magnetize them anymore because sometimes the magnets can shift and then you lose the magnet in the hand anyway. But if you would like to have a magnetized hand, you're going to put your magnet in the hand before you fill it. And then when you fill the hand, when you fill the hand up, your magnet will be on the inside of the hand. And then when you put your magnet on your head, you want to make sure it's magnetized the right direction. So that's just a quick thing. You're going to drop the magnet into the hand and then stuff it, making sure the magnet stays close to the surface on the inside. So that was just a quick little thing there. So to make toes or fingers, I'm only going to do toes on this doll, but this method can be used for fingers as well. You're going to have your string that is doubled with a knot at the end. Sorry, not string, it's thread. And you'll take your foot, and I'll just try and make sure it's nice and close. So, sorry. There we go. And I'm going to anchor the thread midway between these two spots right here. Maybe a little bit more than midway. Because what we're doing is we're going to form on this half the big toe and the second toe, and then the three smaller toes on this half. So what I'm doing here is I went through and I'm going to lock it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go through the back or through the front, but I'll go through the back about where you want the toe to end. So you can see that there. And I'm going to come straight through. And you see I'm going to squeeze the foot. And I'm going to keep pressure on the foot as I form this toe. So I just pulled that thread straight through, got mohair, and you'll see that it's going to form the back of the toe right there. Now we're going to come up with the thread over where you had anchored it and back through close to where you had gone through the first time. And then you'll pull gently to make sure your toe is aligning where it should. Now, you can see that now I have quite a bit of definition. If you want the toe to be longer, you can do that by just going through the back a little bit lower than where you were and coming out the front a little bit lower. See how that just made the toe a little bit longer. So now to move to the next toe, we're going to go over to the start. Now at the back I'm going to go back in. Sorry, this is hard to get on camera. Back in where I was going, and instead of coming out at the front above the first toe, I'm going to come out at the bottom of the second toe. So through the back of the first toe, coming out the bottom of the second toe. I like to line the second toe up with this seam because that's a difficult seam there. So I'm going to repeat what I was doing. Pulling once. And I'm pretty content with that right there, just one, because it was defined well enough thanks to that seam. So now through the back of the second toe to come and form the divide, forming the third toe. Now I'm running short on thread, and in this case, if I'm worried I'm going to run out, I can tie it at the top and then start fresh. You can see I have a little error there. There we go. Tie it at the top and start fresh, or just keep, just do one time with each toe. So I'm just going to go a little bit farther just so you can get it of a good view. You can see how I've formed, this will be the fifth toe. Be careful with this one because the thread likes to slide. So I'm going to go one more time to the front, pull. Now my thread is extremely short, so I have to stop. Normally I would go over each toe one more time, but because of how short my thread is, I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to find that front seam, that toe seam, and I'm going to anchor that thread or tie it off here. Okay, so I've tied it off, and then I will bury my thread by going through the foot and coming out at a different point. And then snip, oops, sorry about that guys, and then I'll snip it off right here, close to the skin. And then you have some adorable fat little toes. Now you can repeat it on the other side, remembering to have the big toes together, so my big toe would be on the opposite. And if you want to do the hands, you're doing the same thing. You already have a thumb, so you would go over and come out at forming the line between the first and second, then the line between the second and third, and then the line between the third and the fourth. So now we've talked about magnetizing and we talked about our little toes, and now we should have a cute little baby doll ready to go. All it needs is to be dressed and it's ready to be loved. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my workshop. I really enjoyed this. I hope this really helped you, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Have a great weekend.